Dear Elon Musk, this is your second straight explosion, and the American taxpayers are owed an explanation. Therefore, we are asking you provide a detailed list of at least 5 things that you did last week. If you cannot do this simple request, we are going to ask that you resign and give back the billions of dollars of taxpayer money that you have been handed. See, here in America, we believe in meritocracy. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter who you know, as this is what has allowed for this to happen. What is this? What is this? We are owed an explanation. You can tweet hundreds of times a day. I think you can handle this simple request of answering to the American taxpayers who you have benefited from for years, and all of the contracts that hold up your stock prices of Tesla. Sincerely, a concerned American taxpayer. Dear Elon Musk, of all the Democrats not meeting this moment right now, Hakeem Jeffries is at the top. The fact that we are even discussing the possibility of Democrats voting alongside these Republicans is a joke, is a absolute utter failure of this Constitution. They should say point blank, there is nothing that these Republicans can come up with that would ever get a single vote from Democrats. They need to say to this country, America, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. We are letting the Republicans govern now. They don't need a single Democratic vote. They don't need a single vote from Democrats. There should be no question about if Democrats are going to vote to keep the government from a shutdown. That should not be a question, and he should be saying that point blank, period. We'll see you in 2026. Stop trying to be the adults in the room while the children are trying to burn the house down and you're worried about decorum. Let's worry about decorum while a traitor sits in office. While a traitor sits in office. And you're worried about decorum. While you're worried about posturing. Oh, how is this going to look? We got to tell all the American people we're still trying to work for you. While they're telling lie after lie. While they're saying people are eating the pets. You're worried about decorum. Meet the moment. Oh, put your little sign up. Put your little sign up. They should have been all Al Green, getting kicked out, yelling and screaming. But no, they had their little signs. They want to just put their little sign up. You're not meeting the moment. You're not taking this as seriously as you should. You're worried about voting alongside Republicans. Trying to be the adults in the room. America said they don't want adults. They don't care about the Constitution. Let America get what they voted for. Let them get what they voted for. They voted for this. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Let them see what they voted for and tell them, we will see you in 2026, and we're going to tell you exactly what we would do differently. Enjoy what you voted for. sit back, grab your popcorn, and watch. The mere mention of this, the will they or won't they vote, is beyond infuriating. It's beyond. Any Democrat that votes alongside these Republicans should see a primary, period. Tesla sales are plummeting around the world? But what do you mean? He was just voted in by the most Americans ever to ever vote in the history of ever. How are they not going out and supporting and getting Teslas? He gave his heart to them. He gave his heart to them after all. I also want to take this time really quick to just point out, every time I do an Elon Musk video on YouTube, it never does numbers. Never. Look at that, 5. Every time I mention Elon Musk on YouTube, owned by Alphabet, Google, it gets shut down. Every time. Look at that. 19 views, 26 views after getting 400, and then, right back to 500, right back to 500. Not crazy numbers, but still, every time I mention Elon Musk. And they're not out there buying Teslas? I am shocked. I am just utterly shocked. Come on, MAGA. Get out there and support your guy. Get out there and support your guy. And in more bad news for Elon and Tesla, it looks like that White House confrontation with Marco Rubio is having some effects. He's canceling the $400 million Tesla plan to have them make armored vehicles. Marco Rubio standing up for himself. I had RFK Jr. as being the first cabinet member to either resign or get fired, but Marco Rubio, the dark horse, coming out, he's kind of my favorite now to be the first cabinet member gone, but remains to be seen. But sparks are flying behind the scenes. Here's just more examples. Elon, up there, Elon, 500 every other time. But as soon as I mention Elon, single digit or just barely getting any traction. On top of that, Hertz, the rental car company, has been having a fire sale of Teslas. You can get a Tesla from Hertz for under $20,000. Come on, MAGA, support your guy. He gave his heart to you. Remember? And you stood by him, said it wasn't that salute. Come on, support your guy. Greatness is here. And yes, if we are going to rename Gulf of Mexico, it should be Gulf of SpaceX Debris, because how many rockets now? 8 total? 2 in a row? Good job, Elon. Tesla. We are here outside Buddy's Coffee, supporting small businesses beyond the economic boycott, February 28th. Continue to support small businesses, especially those that are being affected by gentrification. And there is an entire line out here to get in to support this small business. Because these are conscious consumers who go beyond just February 28th, who know that they have power in their pockets. And New York City is coming out for their local businesses and supporting especially Latin-owned businesses. Yes!
We're on a TikTok live right now.
Really?
Yes,
Gosh.
we're supporting. This is the
so
owner.
much.
This is what you get when you come here to
Hi,
Buddy's
how are
Coffee.
you?
Support small businesses.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
love
so
it.
much. I know it's
I'm
so
so excited
cold.
to try it.
Yes.
Thank you. I promise we should have more than enough people
Oh.
to make it to this
Let's go.
line, but just thank
so
you
excited.
so much for showing up.
Yeah,
I feel like I've said it so many times. Showing up for me just means like we're showing up for.
Yeah.
It's bigger than
Absolutely.
me.
And tag Bad Bunny too. When you come here, tag Bad Bunny. We're
Yeah.
gonna try to get that.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
we love it. Tag Bad Bunny. Yes, that's the owner right there. Have you ever gone to a Starbucks and seen the owner there? No. This is amazing. We're outside at Buddy's Coffee supporting a small local business, continuing the economic boycott that started February 28th. Just go beyond just one day. They won't feel it in one day. You have to continue that
continue being a conscious consumer. Thank you so much, AB. Appreciate that.
We have a colorful Carol, not in the chat this time, but IRL.
Yeah. When you have an administration that is against diversity, against inclusion, against equity, you have to know that you have power in your pockets. And I'm here with Colorful Carol. Whether we get in or not, we're just showing support for a local New York business.
The line is very long. I wish I could show the storefront, but the line is very long. But we're out here.
And if you're not familiar with Buddy's Coffee, check out their story. She posted an emotional TikTok, went pretty viral, and is getting an outpouring of support from the local community. We love to see it. And I know on the more national scale, there was the boycott on Friday, February 28th, but it needs to be sustained. One-day boycotts do not work. It needs to be sustained of being a conscious consumer and knowing that you have power in your pockets, and you need to stop supporting people like Jeff Bezos, and you need to stop supporting people like Elon Musk. I hope to not see another person buy another Tesla until he changes his ways and knows that he doesn't have the ultimate say. But yeah, continue to be a conscious consumer. I'm going to record some things, but I appreciate everyone who supported the live. Come to Buddy's Coffee. Buddy's Coffee again. All right.
Thank you, Trump, for allowing me and everyone to exist. Thank you for this polluted air that I'm breathing. Help! Help us! Help! 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 And thank you for rolling back regulations on corporations, allowing them to pollute the air. That carbon monoxide that I'm breathing in smells like freedom. The United States has been added to the Civicus Monitor Watch List, which identifies countries that the global civil rights watchdog believes are currently experiencing a rapid decline in civic freedoms. Civicus, an international nonprofit organization dedicated to strengthening citizen action and civil society around the world, announced the inclusion of the U.S., for the first time in history, by the way, of the U.S. on the nonprofit's first watch list of 2025 on Monday, alongside the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Italy, Pakistan, and Serbia. Thank you for opening up the national forests to be ripped down, to be cut down, allowing for less oxygen into the air, allowing more carbon dioxide to fill our atmosphere. Thank you for imposing tariffs to keep Americans safe. Thank you for specifically going after our allies who've been ripping us off. And then thank you for reversing that for no apparent reason and for pausing those tariffs. And thank you for calling out the UMCA as the worst deal ever signed, even though you signed that deal in your first term. But thank you for going back on that. And then thank you again for imposing those tariffs. And thank you again for reversing them 24 hours later. Again, for no apparent reason other than you realized that you made a terrible, horrible, idiotic mistake. Thank you for recognizing that and for pausing those tariffs once again for a month. The decision to add the U.S. to the first 2025 watch list was made in response to what the group described as the Trump administration's assault on democratic norms and global cooperation. In the news release announcing the U.S.'s addition, the organization cited recent actions taken by the Trump administration that they argue will likely severely impact constitutional freedoms of peaceful assembly, expression, and association. Help us! The group cited several of the administration's actions, such as the mass termination of federal employees, the appointment of Trump loyalists in key government positions, the withdrawal from international efforts such as the World Health Organization and the UN Human Rights Council, the freezing of federal and foreign aid, and the attempted dismantling of USAID. Greatness is here, and I'm scared. Thank you, Trump, for allowing me and every. Have we gone a single day without having to ask the question, is that legal? We used to say in the first term, oh, that violates the Hatch Act. Now it's just accepted. Like, we're just expecting him to violate the Hatch Act as president of the United States of America. MAGA loves electric vehicles. Come on, MAGA. It's only $35,000 for the cheapest one, starting at. Go out there and get you one. Show your support. Those 401ks are looking good. Get out there. Get you an EV car. Those cars you've been talking a lot about the past 10 years. Your dear leader just bought one, so fall in line. Fall in line, because MAGA is the most obedient and submissive political party in American history. So fall in line, okay? Because you've been talking a lot about EVs the past 10 years. But now your dear leader's got one. And he's saying how perfect it is and how good it is. So fall in line, be obedient, and go get you one. Come on, it's $35,000. What is that to you, MAGA? Real MAGA can spend $200,000 on a dinner. Get out there and support. Do as you are told and do not question. We're just doing full-on car advertisements. And who's actually buying this Tesla? Is it taxpayers that are buying this because dear leaders' stock price is plummeting? And I also want to point this out of the 5-year chart for Tesla. Biden years were actually really good for Tesla and old Elon. So I know we're hating on Elon a lot recently, but it's not enough. He's still way, way up. We need to bring this down. Radical left lunatics trying to illegally boycott? This is America. We love to boycott, and it is not illegal. And also want to shout this sign out. A "We hate him too" sign was recently spotted at the San Francisco Tesla dealership. You love to see it. And shout out Kia. I bought this after Elon went crazy. Love to see it. But whining like this for the literal world's richest man? I've played this so much. He just whines. He just whines. And then his supporters will whine too. Come on, MAGA. Go get you an EV. Get you an EV car. MAGA loves electric vehicles. Have we gone? The people that are going to be hurt most by these cuts at the Department of Education are the ones currently cheering it. I also want to take this opportunity to talk about what Trump's victory means for the private prison industry. Just look at this. This is the GEO Group, a private prison company. Look at that jump on Election Day, November 8th, 2024, as soon as it was announced that Trump was going to win. Look at that jump. And look how it's continued. Yes, it's gone down with the rest of the stock market since, but look at that jump. It's still ahead of what it was before November 8th. That jump is insane. It's the same for the core civic group. Look at that jump on November 8th. Look at that jump for a private prison company. The school to prison pipeline is very real in America. And dismantling the Department of Education, which helps those same students avoid the prison, is getting reversed, is going backwards now. Students with disabilities, minorities, people of color, all disproportionately going to be affected by this. For students with disabilities, the numbers are equally troubling. One report found that while 8.6% of public school children have been identified as having disabilities that affect their ability to learn, these students make up 32% of youth in juvenile detention centers. This article from the ACLU, failing public schools. And if you think dismantling the Department of Education is going to make this better, that it's going to be better for it to go back to the states, just take a look at red and blue states, okay? Red states are going to be disproportionately hurt by this. For most students, the school to prison pipeline begins with inadequate resources in public schools, overcrowded classrooms, a lack of qualified teachers, insufficient funding. It needs more funding, not less. Department of Education needs more people, not less. They're already understaffed. So you're cutting an understaffed department in half. Insane. And it's going to disproportionately hurt his own base. But yet they are cheering this. And they are cheering this in the sense that they know it's also going to hurt people that they have been taught to hate, which is people of color. As long as it's hurting them more, they're okay with it. They have no empathy. They don't see that they're fighting the same fight in 2025. As long as they can own the libs, right? MAGA, he is making you less hireable. He is keeping you in poverty. I have never seen a president go after his own base the way that President Trump has in these first few weeks of his second term. Just look at these numbers. Average annual earnings of someone with a high school diploma, $38,000. Average annual earnings with a bachelor's degree, $64,000. He is keeping you broke, and you are cheering this on, and then later you're going to wonder why nothing good has come to your life. Education is the foundation for everything we have earned up until this point in America in 2025. We've had to earn it. Year in, year out, decade in, decade out. Civil rights movement, women's suffrage, all founded on education. And for them to go after it, they know what they are doing. They are feeding that school to prison pipeline. That to them is greatness. The people that are going to be hurt, no. You do not get to blame Democrats for a government shutdown. And how much of the government is left to shut down anyway? They're making it more efficient by firing everybody in the first place. So how much left is there to actually shut down in this? Now, there's a lot at stake here, but you do not get to blame Democrats whatsoever. What Democrat was in the room when MAGA Mike Johnson signed that continuing resolution in the House? There wasn't a single Democrat in the room. There wasn't a single Democrat who was addressed, who was asked about that bill. No, they just pushed it through, and now they're trying to put it on the Democrats. And I just want to say for the record, I am not the biggest fan of Chuck Schumer. But what Trump said...
Schumer is a Palestinian as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's become a Palestinian. He used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian. Okay.
Absolutely atrocious, and just shows his lack of character in all matters. And what he said is worse than deplorable, worse than garbage, should never be said about any person, ever, no matter what political party you are a part of. Environmental protection regulations are in place to protect people from the environment, not to protect the environment from people. I'll have to say that again. It is in place to protect people from the environment, not protect the environment from people. FAFO. You're about to find out that Mother Nature has been here for billions of years. Humans have only been here for hundreds of thousands of years. And we're about to be put in our place time and time and time again. We aren't going to destroy this planet. We're going to make it uninhabitable for humans and a countless other species along the way. So roll back all of these regulations, and Mother Nature is going to put you in your place. And you can call that greatness as a Category 5 smacks you in the face. Or when a tornado sucks up your family home in your sleep, because we also rolled back the NOAA, so you're not going to get any weather warnings. Or remember that when you have to evacuate from a fire or an earthquake just shatters your entire neighborhood because they've fracked the ever-living hell out of your community. But drill, baby, drill. I just want to hear that sound every time we see one of these natural disasters. Every time there's a Category 5 that slams into Florida. You're also not going to be getting FEMA help. What is this? Socialists? What do you want? Socialism in here? No. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps and figure it out. No help. No help. Do it yourself. Have fun. And breaking news, Democrats are still spineless and deep down want to be Republicans. I don't care the reasoning. I don't care. I'm sick and tired of seeing Democrats always try to be the adults while the children are burning down the house. And they are just going to be, we got to be the adults. We got to be the adults. Why are you taking the fall for this? Why are you taking the fall for this? This is why you're not in the White House. This is why you don't have the majority in the Senate. This is why you don't have the majority in Congress, because you are spineless and you don't stand up for your people. I don't care what your reasoning is. This is unacceptable, and all of them that are up for election in 2026 need to see primaries, because this is not doing their constituents justice. I don't know. I don't know. We could be seen as partisan, and we don't want to be seen as partisan. And the fight could go on for years. I don't know. I think we should just let the rebels win. We should just let them win. The other option is just so bad. We don't want to do that, and we actually want them to vote for us. So I just really think we shouldn't put up a fight at all, and we should let the rebels. We should really let them win. Let the rebels win. I think that's best. We shouldn't stand up for anything whatsoever. We should never stand up for anything. Just let them win. Let them just take over. We don't want to be seen as partisan. That'd just be the worst. And to actually stand up for something, No. Okay. I have been doing some reflecting on this for how the Democrats can get out of this hole they have put themselves in. I still would have voted no to try and get some concessions from Republicans. They didn't even try. But now that they have let this go through, if the Democrats can message around this, recent history tells us they cannot message well, but if they can, they have to make sure that the American people know that this is all on behalf of Republicans. Democrats weren't in the room when this was written. Republicans in the Senate passed this bill because there are going to be some serious ramifications for this bill in everything that they've cut and everything that they are not continuing to fund, like FEMA, as we go into tornado season, as we go into hurricane season. They're also firing all of these weather reporters and weather analysts. So we're going to have worse forecasts going into these seasons. And good luck to anyone who suffers from a natural disaster, because there may not be much help for you if that happens. May the odds forever be in your favor. Greatness is here. To be clear, this is going to cost people their lives. Just look at those eyes. Do you think those eyes care about that? And when you're cheering all of these firings, just know that USPS hires thousands, over 70,000 veterans, which is about 11% of the overall workforce at USPS. The USPS, postal fact, we're patriotic. The Postal Service employs nearly 73,000 military veterans, making it one of the largest employers of veterans in the country. Side note, if I am one of these federal employees that was illegally fired, I'm not coming back. I'm using that in my lawsuit. And we're going to really find out who is in charge of DOJ, because there are going to be lawsuits that come down on all of this. I'm not coming back to work. I'm using this judge ruling as evidence that they fired me illegally. And I am going to hold them accountable and responsible for those actions. And I like how Elon's trying to distance himself from DOJ. And you have Trump in his fake State of the Union address kind of going off script and shouting out Elon for being the head of DOJ, which lawyers included immediately in their filing against DOJ. So if I'm one of these employees that's been fired, I'm not coming back, and I'm using this judge ruling. And it also brings into effect who is going to enforce all of these rulings against the Trump administration. We're seeing judges speak out and saying that the Trump administration is not adhering to their rulings. Who's holding them accountable? Who's going to hold them and make them do what the judge says? Because right now they're not. Even though this judge ruled, who's enforcing that? Who is enforcing that against this administration? We have Congress just completely turning their cheek on everything that this administration is doing, giving up all of their Article 1 powers and allowing Article 2 to just take over, which is going to have lasting effects. well beyond 4 years of this term. And here's a post from when Biden was president. If you needed a more starker contrast of these two administrations, USPS is hiring nationwide. Veterans and families get preference. I feel like this appointment epitomizes Trump's second term perfectly. Former lumber industry executive was named as Forest Service chief. And now you have Trump saying he's opening up the national forests to be cut down for profit. And you have a lumber executive as the Forest Service chief. It goes perfectly with the chainsaw Elon Musk brought on stage. These images just need to be played over and over again as people start seeing the services that they pay for with their taxes. Look at your most recent pay stub. Those taxes are still coming out. So as they say they're making it more efficient, like everything else, it usually means the opposite. They're making it less efficient. They're putting people in charge of these agencies specifically to tear them apart so that they do not work for the American people. And for the record, it's only going to get worse for the next 2 years. And that's what makes what happened on Friday with the Democrats capitulating without putting up a fight all the more frustrating. What little power they have right now, they completely gave up to someone who just gave a speech at the Department of Justice where he's going to abuse the term terrorist, where he's going to abuse the term illegal. How many American citizens are we going to see at Guantanamo Bay because they've been labeled a terrorist for exercising their First Amendment right? Where is that student from Colombia? Where are they being held? Where were they taken to? Where is he right now? That is a test on the system. It's warming the waters to deport American citizens because they've been labeled a terrorist. It's gearing up for what is about to happen in Gaza because we just gave Israel $5 billion worth of weapons as he freezes all foreign aid. This speech will be looked back on multiple times as we see this progress, this hostile takeover becoming more hostile. As people speak out, you have Pam Bondi saying they're going to label anyone who protests at Tesla a terrorist, and they're going to go after them. And him bragging about his relationship with the Attorney General and the FBI director, and the FBI director wanting a direct line to the president. He wants that set up in his office. He made that request this week. And I'm afraid that a lot of his supporters, as we're seeing in these town halls, growing in their anger, are going to realize it is them versus the state now. And they've granted all of this power. He has absolute immunity. He argued before the Supreme Court that he could take out a political rival, and the Supreme Court said, yes, you can. That is an official presidential act. He is a 34-time convicted felon speaking at the Department of Justice Imagine if you're one of those prosecutors that knows all of the evidence they had against him and taking those documents and what's in those documents that the American people still do, to this day, do not know. All of the details of those documents. They are the most secretive, top secret documents in our nation he had in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. We never got to see that even go to trial. And he's giving a speech at the Department of Justice saying that CNN and MSNBC are using acts of corruption and it's illegal. This is where we're at. This is greatness.